As we approach the merge on the Ethereum network, it's hard not to be overwhelmed by the headlines and narratives and technical analysis. How does one navigate the opportunities and timing of this event? So, you're in luck because I actually have invited our head of digital assets, Sean Farrel, to give us a little insight on what our digital assets team is keeping a close eye on, and also some data opportunities that have been presented recently. And along with that, we've invited Mark Newton, our head of technical strategy, to give us a little more granular perspective on price and entry points and kind of what we can expect in the near term. So let's get started. Sean, let's start with you. In the recent Crypto Weekly, you outlined a timeline leading up to the final merge, which includes the final 3 of 3 Girly testnet, which is taking place next week. So when that's completed, what can we expect?
Essentially, once that is complete, all bets are off and all chips will be on the table for the actual mainnet merge, which is tentatively scheduled for September 19th. I mean, obviously there's flexibility around that specific date just because, you know, the timing is based on block height and not necessarily a calendar time. So it's interesting. Do you think that from a technicals perspective, and I don't want to put you on the spot right now, would that factor change your thinking around a post Girly testnet merge dip?
My thinking is how this is going to unfold is it will likely rally into that date. Just because I also see the same thing with equities. I think that any minor pullback we see over the next week or two is going to be viable, and that we should push up into the middle part of September, if not late September, for equities. And so I think that, you know, cryptocurrencies will give you a little bit more bang for your buck, and particularly Ethereum has shown far more relative strength than Bitcoin of late, really since July 14th. So that anticipation and the uptick of strength, shows you that, money is flowing into this, and I think that likely continues. I think it's going to be strong, really over the next, say, 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks. So I'd rather be long here and just, look to dips to buy and not get too cute on trying to play day by day or week by week. Although those that look at daily charts can, we can all shed some light on that. But for most investors, it's just wise to be involved, because I think, in my experience, big events like that are anticipated, are similar to stock splits. Like, we'll see a stock run up into that date, and then when they split it, oftentimes, you'll see it pull back a little bit or something, particularly if it's had a big run up into it. It's more of a buy the news, sell the rumor, or buy the rumor, sell the news type of thing. And so I think that could be applicable here too. As I mentioned earlier, we've broken the entire downtrend just since the spring. That's always very helpful, and that happened really back on July the 18th, so mid-July. You did break steeper downtrends if you want to look at how parabolic it's starting to get of late, but yeah, this has started to really show some excellent price action of late. So the 18th is when we saw our move. Volume spiked to the highest level we've seen in almost a month. A little bit of consolidation. Now it's taken on the form of higher lows, higher highs, which is certainly constructive. And now you've seen really the last week a little bit of a minor pullback, but it really hasn't damaged that technical structure that's still very much intact. So for me, that's showing, evidence this also should, challenge these highs and take that out. And so that really puts us up near 1900. And typically I say that only because that's an honest target. You can arrive at that a number of different ways, but this is, right near your first major Fibonacci level of the entire range, high to low range. So 38.2%, normally a very important level, as is 50%, which is not a fib level, but it is important. And so that gets us right near 1900. If you were to measure these waves, you could come up with other reasons why 1900 is key. But yeah, I think that's, from here, it seems like a pretty straight shot. Obviously, if it gets under 1560, that changes things. So not to get too granular, but in general, we've gone from a downtrend to now an uptrend, and we'll see the extent to which this can, move off the lows, but it still looks very promising to me.
So it's not all about Ethereum. Last week's Crypto Weekly was titled High Beta Merge Ideas. where Sean, I know you outlined some governance tokens and layer 2s as well. So maybe we can kind of provide some insight on those. And maybe Mark, you have some technical insight as well.
It's all about flows, right? And if you have a lot of flows into the layer 1, the other opportunity for, achieving beta to ETH heading into the merge is obviously layer 2 tokens. And a couple that we highlighted last week were, Matic, which is it's a quasi layer 2. It's kind of a, has its own kind of native value accrual mechanism, but it is still technically a layer 2. And there's also, we highlighted Optimism, which is a layer 2's token is the ticker is OP. We've seen a lot of momentum in both those names, and I'll defer to Mark how that looks from a technical perspective, but certainly from a narrative and flows perspective should serve as a beta play to the merge.
A chart of Optimism OP, and we can see that the price as of today has officially closed above this little minor consolidation after a very big run up. So it ran up almost threefold, fourfold, and consolidated. Now it's moving up again. Volume still, not as heavy as it was back in late July, but still shows evidence of supporting this breakout today. So, I'm expecting a move up at least up to probably 3 from here, which is still, 50%, a big move. With Matic, we see a lot of the same consolidation and hasn't really made its breakout move yet. So if anything, this is a little bit better of a risk reward to consider. The structure of this has been, what people from a wave perspective might call, 3 waves up, now 4th wave consolidation. So we need that final push, which I think is going to happen over the next week. I think we'll, push up to 110 to 120, and then we'll see a little bit of a consolidation, and then you'll see the bigger move happen into the month of September.
That's all I have. This was a lot of great information. Thank you both for your time.
Have a wonderful day, everybody.
Take care.
Gary.